In the movie, the government moving back to work.
He is the up-and-coming leader.
Members of our prestigious Indian American community, I must recognize our illustrious veterans, the Indian Armed Forces who are here.
Or by governments that are sponsoring terrorism against people, and oftentimes it's difficult to disentangle them, but in any event, we can recognize them by their works, which is the violation of people's human rights and the destruction of civilian communities. Well, there needs to be international cooperation against terrorist actors, against terrorist groups. We need to crack down on terror financing and the financial mechanisms in the banks that actually empower it. And then we have to make sure that our own governments are not implicated in terrorist activities and with terrorist groups and factions around the world.
You know, U.S. and India have had a long-standing relationship across many issues, and it's just important to maintain that democratic allyship. You know, India is the largest democracy in the world. The U.S. is the most powerful democracy in the world, and our two countries have so much in common. We just have to continue to fight together. Terrorism of any kind is bad, and it's something that our countries just need to stay focused on, and close relationships.
It's important that India is here telling its story, what has happened, and as you say in the title of this, the human cost of terrorism.
How do you see the relationship between India and U.S. in fight against
with
in fight against terrorism? How do you see the relationship between India and U.S.?
Well, obviously, India is extremely important to us, both economically, strategically, and this partnership, looking at how we combat terrorism, international terrorism, is a key one as well. So, again, how we cooperate and work together, whether it's intelligence sharing, whether it's techniques and those kinds of things that are used to combat terrorism, I think that would be important.
Well, first of all, we have an enormous amount of respect for the Indian people, the Indian government. Continue to look forward to working with them. Terrorism is a worldwide problem. No one country can determine terrorism on its own. It's a global network. People of goodwill have to fight back. So we're here to also show our support, continue to strengthen ties, also celebrate our friendship. The world is becoming increasingly smaller by ways of communications, by way of transportation, and we're going to also see this in the upcoming months and years to come with agriculture, with the wars that now spike the price of fuel, which gives India energy insecurity, which makes petroleum higher and more expensive, where people don't have the means by which to cook and do other things. We have to make sure that we are restoring peace. And so India has a long, noble history of being a peace advocate. And there's some things that the United States can learn. We look forward to India continue to assert its leadership and continue to advocate for peace.
In Mumbai. And when I was in India, I had stayed at the Taj Hotel, which was affected, and I understood the human cost. So we need to, as democracies, be fundamentally aligned against terror. And it's one of the reasons I believe in the extraordinary partnership between our nations.
Large number of congressmen, one of the first respondents who was there at the 9/11 event, and also video sentiment and message of one of the 9/11 survivors. I think these speeches today, these statements today, capture the very essence of today's event, which is a specially curated exhibition on the human cost of terrorism. The objective was to highlight that how terrorism and the tragedy of terrorism actually changes, impacts our society, tries to change, which is one of the objective of the terrorist, tries to change the ways of your life. And the pain and the suffering that the families of those who lost their loved ones, they went through. I think today's exhibition tries to convey that message of the human cost, of the pain, of the suffering. But equally at the same time, I think the exhibition also conveys a sense of strong resolve, a determination of not just India, but every other country impacted by this scourge of terrorism to fight this menace.
Namaste, my name is Adepa Prasad. I am National President of Overseas Friends of BJP. Today in Cannon Building in Caucus Room, Embassy has arranged United Against Terrorism, the cost of human living. And it's an exhibition. They basically put the exhibition over here in the hall, starting the terrorist activities since 1985 till recently, not only about India but across the globe. And several congressmen today graced this occasion, and they gave a vehement
Together we need to fight terror wherever it raises its ugly head.
Terrorism perpetrated by none other than, most of the terrorist origin is from Pakistan, and without naming the country, they basically bash this kind of inhuman activity.
Namaste, this is Anuttama Das. I'm here in Washington. I'm the Communications Director for ISKCON globally. I'm here in Washington, D.C. today at the U.S. Capitol, which is the seat of American government. And there's a special exhibit today here in the Capitol building, and there's been several hundred participants about the cost of terrorism around the world. We know that terrorism is a problem that plagues many, many people, many countries, many societies and civilizations.
Good evening, my name is Deepak Thacker. I am here at the Cannon House building in the Cannon Caucus Room. We're gathered here on an event hosted by the Embassy. This is on the terrorism, human cost of terrorism. This is an event where the Indian American community has gathered in this Cannon Caucus building. It's an amazing event. What I'm amazed with is the outreach done by our community. We had a number of congressional members join today from both sides, Republican and Democrats, and they had amazing things to talk about what we as a country doing against this terrorism. It's not about just the terrorism against India. It's the global issue, and India leading in that, and all the congressional members who came here and spoke, they all praised our Prime Minister's effort and our country as a whole making huge effort against this terrorism globally.